Welcome to Seat Time, where we drink beer and talk about all the happenings with motorcycles.
Hey everyone, welcome to Seat Time. This is episode 32. I'm Jason Schmidt.
And I am Brian Pierce. Thank you very much for joining us. So this past weekend, I actually kind of came mucho babysitter-o, and I took care of our daughter Kaylin so that my wife could go out and have her Sunday fun day since I had mine last weekend. And really that was kind of it for me. I did a little bit of drinking with Jordan on Friday night, and then I took care of the baby. So that was me. What'd you do?
I moved all weekend long.
Is that as painful as it sounds?
Yeah, it sucked. And I found that it's very taunting that when you go from the second floor to the third floor in my new place, you can just see the pool looming out of the giant windows. I thought before, like, this loft, it's awesome. You have this beautiful view. Yeah, when you're sweating like a horn in church and lugging boxes up and down stairs, the pool taunts you.
You're like, I can see that I don't want to go back down there.
Yeah, exactly. That was pretty much it for me.
Yeah, just a bunch of moving. I understand that, man. Moving sucks, and sometimes you just got to man up and do it.
Yeah.
There was a new event this past weekend in Tennessee at the Trials Training Center, and it was called the Tennessee Knockout, so the TKO. They kind of dubbed this the American Extreme Enduro. There haven't been too many of those throughout the states. They've been a lot in the world, but nowhere near as much in the states. And so this was the first annual. Probably most likely they're going to have it again this weekend. What the TKO is, and the way the race is formatted, is it's a 4-round race to where all the competitors are knocked out of the competition after each section or round, if they do not qualify. So interesting format at a trials place. So there's gonna be some technical bits, some long bits and stuff. So kind of funny.
Yeah, one of the surprising things is you talk about an event like this. One of the people you absolutely expect to be in the running, the person you kind of expect to win, would be good old Taddy.
Yeah.
Well, surprisingly enough, Taddy was knocked out before the water even got warm because he apparently...
Round 1, folks.
Yeah, he had a light wreck, but it was enough to throw off something with the fuel injection on his bike, and he was out, shockingly enough. So it's probably one of those where the old school two-stroke is sounding kind of good right now, but I mean, not to knock the 350s too much.
Yeah, or just any of the fuel injected. It is kind of an interesting point, though. It's like, if you've been on a carbureted two-stroke, would this little minor wreck not have jarred his fuel injection system enough to knock it loose? Or, I mean, it could have knocked anybody's carburetor loose, or could have broken a reed or whatever, but at the same time, since we all ride two-strokes now, I'm going to go ahead and say that two-strokes are awesome, and it probably would have been better if he had been on a two-stroke. So, round 1. It was a short loop, a couple miles long, but it was very, very technical. So more like what you would see in your typical Endurocross track. What we saw Webb win this round, which was everybody at the Trials Training Center was very happy to see Cody Webb win that. Mike Brown was 2 seconds behind. So good old Brownie was 2 seconds behind Cody Webb. Pretty good for round 1, I think.
Absolutely.
Yes. We got round 2, a little bit longer loop, but more diverse terrain. So they had much more elevation changes, less man-made obstacles. This one was now won by Brown, and it took him 39 minutes and 7 seconds to complete round 2, and it took Webb and Prochnow, Bobby Prochnow from Canada, they came in 2nd and 3rd respectively. There were a couple other people that would have been in the mix, but they wound up kind of wrecking themselves out of contention. So then we move to round 3. Round 3 took the top 25 riders at this point who had not been knocked out and put them in rounds of 5. 5 riders against each other head-to-head. From there, we took the top 2 winners of those rounds who moved on to the finals. So 5, top 2, we then wind up with 10 finalists in the last round. The way it worked out, though, coming to the end, we didn't really have any crazy names that didn't qualify in the top 10. So you had the top 25 riders, the top 2 from the 5 heats who made it were kind of the names that people expected to move on. So then we go to the finals, and this is just head-to-head competition. Who's going to win most laps around the course that they had to go on. So we got Brown out front quick, and he pretty much led the whole race. Mm-hmm. So that guy, Brownie, freaking awesome. He may be old, but still the guy can kick some ace when it comes down to it. Cody Webb, who everybody at this point really thought was going to be a contention, he unfortunately fell in the first turn and didn't really He kind of got up quick, but he then had to pass the whole field. He did actually get into striking distance of Brown on the last lap, but since he stalled his bike, that kind of didn't really give him a chance to pass him when your bike's not running. So we had Mike Brown, who actually won, Cody Webb in second, and then Rory Mead in third. Rory Mead's been kind of coming over for some GNCCs, a little bit of enduro races, and it's just really good to see that this guy's an off-road rider and that he can compete with the best. Overall, it sounds like there was a little bit of confusion with the event. People were having trouble on
scoring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Results. It's like, we just watched round one. What happened? Like, no one really knew. Oh, okay, he did this time, he did that. But once results started coming out and people could figure out the scoring and how that was working, everybody said that they really enjoyed the event and that if they could have some form of live scoring and then maybe some live footage to go along, that this event could really go far. And so we're hoping that something like that could happen. We kind of missed out on it because the last man standing. That, I think, was really the first American extreme enduro. But Red Bull pulled the plug on that one, and it is no longer. So we have this to look forward to next year. I think I would like to go compete. Would you like to go compete?
I'd like to go spectate.
Yes! Or we could go spectate. Jordan?
Is there drinking there?
Yes.
I'm there.
There's trials, guys. Of course there's drinking. That's what they do. So... congrats to everybody at the Tennessee Knockout. Heard it was a good success. We know we're going to see some video footage from all the guys that were there, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, hopefully everything's smoothed out and they'll be good to go next year.
Yeah.
Closer to home, we had the next round of the Torque Series in Houston at Rio Bravo.
Was this the hood rat
the
one?
Ghetto Nationals.
Ghetto Nationals.
The Sunday Pro Main had 10 riders. Central Park Power Sports Austin Boney.
Whoa.
Hey now.
Guy can ride if you know what I mean.
Grr. Had the whole shot on his Yamaha 450, but lost it to Honda rider Martin Howell.
Oh, Martin Howell, enduro rider. I know him. He's cool.
About 40 minutes into the race, Howell was passed by Kawasaki-mounted Brad Kamer, with Munn Racing's Josh Young also passing Howell on his KTM 350. SMS rider Caleb Ramsey DNF'd with mechanical problems after running up on the top 5 early on. And Young dug deep in the over 100-degree weather. Real shock. It was probably humid, knowing it's Houston. To rally and pass Cameron for the last lead in the win. So the results were Josh Young in first on the KTM, Brad Cameron in second on the Kawasaki, and Martin Howell in third on the Honda. And once again, just throw out a quick thank you to Jeff O'Leary for the update on the Torque Series.
Yeah, Jeff O'Leary's a really nice guy. I've got ride with him at a couple national enduro or a couple enduros, and he's a really nice guy, and I appreciate the fact that he was able to write up a little report for us. Another race that happened in Indianapolis, Indiana. Is that the right state?
Yeah.
State of mind. State of mind! This actually, the Endurocross, the National Enduro Circuit, Round 3, was on Friday night because of the whole Indianapolis Bike Week thing that was going on. And we saw something happen a little bit different on Friday night, was that Taddy actually did not set the fastest hot lap.
Yeah.
It was,
it wasn't the best go-round for him the last few.
I know, what is it? Maybe he should go back to a lighter, more two-strokish kind of bike.
Yeah, two-strokish. That makes it... Whatever could you mean?
I don't know. But, so, it seemed like he had a little bit of a minor tumble, and he got 7th fastest hot lap. I don't think that that's the worst thing ever. Are you playing with the pussy?
I got fucking attacked.
I know. I told you that thing's a little like sniper. It lures you in and then it strikes.
I'm like struggling over here to keep her off the computer and the mixing board and maybe off the couch, and all of a sudden she just attacks me.
I tell you, when they were on vacation, it was a minor miracle that they didn't come home and I wasn't doing the whole, what, you had a cat?
I almost needed that thing right now. I couldn't imagine staying here a week or two with it.
Yeah, it was going to be one of those lovely moments in which I was like, yeah, oh, you had a cat? I never saw it. Hey, don't pay any attention to that freshly dug dirt in the backyard.
Or the blood spats on the
spatter, or the fact that it looks like I've stood there urinating on that fresh grave several times. Yeah, that cat is just the spawn of Satan, and I want to throw it in a blender.
I am not the biggest fan, but unfortunately, it's my wife.
I was trying to be sly about that, but seemed to still get us off track. So that's
You distracted us as much as you could.
Let's get back to the motorcycle.
Oh,
Yeah.
squirrel!
Yeah, it's not every day that I want to drop elbows on a small mammal, but that
Yeah.
one brings it to the forefront.
It-
All right,
it's
back to
gonna happen.
back to Indianapolis.
Indianapolis
For,
and Indiana, apparently. Okay, so Mike Brown, who has been on a hot streak this weekend, actually
Yeah.
set the fastest lap time, and we had Cody Webb, who set the second fastest, with Jeff Aaron up in the mix as well. So we were really looking to see these guys up top. Mike Brown was one of the ones on the podium when it came down to the finish, but Cody Webb and Jeff Aaron both actually had issues in the main where they could not get themselves on the podium. Actually, even Jeff Aaron was 6th, so that was pretty unexpected for him to be not on the podium, but kind of that far, out of contention for a podium position.
Yeah.
As we were talking about Cody Webb, he was holding down third fairly well while Mike Brown was trying to chase down Taddy Blazusiak, but Justin Soule came in through at the very end and made a very, very nice pass at the end on the last lap to take away third. So we had Justin Soule in third on the podium, Mike Brown in second on the podium, and then, of course, on the top of the podium, we had Taddy Blazusiak on his non-two-strokish KTM
This is true.
winning.
Yeah,
So
not a big
maybe
shock that he
maybe
won,
not
but
setting the hot lap is okay.
yeah, he kind of made up for it with
Yeah.
that whole win thing. But
Yeah.
we just have to bring up the 350 thing as much as we
I
can.
mean, if you guys gave me one, I'd ride it
yeah,
after this is off.
yeah. The
Maybe.
Dayglow cast must go first. Had another round roll out with the LACC. Morgan Moss was a favorite coming into the race again, and a favorite coming into the race, and he did take the overall
Yeah.
again. And really impressive when you think about that he's starting off the second line since he lines up with the XC2 class, past the entire XC1 field to roll out the win.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is the word I was looking for was badass.
Yeah. I think it's-
sitting there rolling everybody.
Yeah. You know how deep I roll? This deep.
Yeah.
I think he actually did that at the other race that he's attended at the LACC too.
Yeah, local boy from Pittsburgh, Texas, Brian Vaughn, was the top XC1 rider on the day with the second overall. Andy Baby,
Baby!
I ate a baby, was the XC1 hole shot winner and held off the field for a while, but settled for second in XC1 and the third overall. So the results, podium top to bottom, XC1, Brian Vaughn on a KTM, Andy Baby on a KTM, Jason Harvey on a Suzuki. How'd that happen? XC2,
What's
you
a
had...
Suzuki?
Yeah.
Do those bikes even work anymore?
Yeah, not if it's Ryan Dungy's.
Oh!
XC2, you had Morgan Moss on the Husqvarna.
Husqvarna.
Second place was Forrest Smith. Run, Forrest, run on your Yamaha. And Evan Shows in third place on a KTM.
Oh!
Yes, sir.
I know. So, our little buddy over there, Lucas Como, is actually making... what
I was
is
wondering
that?
where that was going.
Stop it! Lucas Como is making a good name for himself in the LACC series. One day, even though we keep saying it, maybe next year, hopefully 2013, I don't know. We're going to go to one of those races. It's going to happen. When either I don't have a cast or somebody pays me more money.
Yeah.
Probably neither of those is going to happen.
But we're
okay.
going to have to figure out how to do it baller on a budget.
Yeah. So if you were up northeast anywhere at all, you probably would have gone to Indianapolis to see the Endurocross on Friday, and as well, you might have gone to see some of the enduro racing that took place. The National Enduro that was out in
Zanesville.
Zanesville, Ohio. This is actually the local land of Nick Farringer, who up until this race had won 2 in a row. After this race, he won 3 in a row. He won this race by 1 second. He went in 25 seconds down into the last test section, and his mechanic was like, hey, man, just put it all out there. What do you got to lose? You know, it's like at this point, he really is not in points contention up until this point. He had not been in point contention for the overall.
Yeah.
So what do you got to lose? You're 25 seconds down, pin it to win it. And the dude done did it and came away 1 second up on frickin' Charlie Mullins for the section.
Yeah, pretty badass showing there.
Yeah.
And definitely shifting points around.
Yes! So, okay, so we had Nick Farringer with the win. We had Thad Duvall, his second podium for the season. His best so far had been a third. So, but this was his first time on a two-stroke. A lot of other KTM and Husqvarna and YZ guys had been making switches back to two-stroke. So this was the first time that Thad had made that switch. I remember watching on Facebook when he was like, I finally am going to break out the old two-stroke. Hope I remember how to ride it. Apparently he did.
Yeah.
And if you watch the times, he got consistently faster and faster throughout the day. Not that he by any means was doing bad in the beginning. He just got more comfortable with the bike in race mode. And then third, we had Corey Buttrick, who got second in the first test and then third consecutively throughout the rest of them, except for the one of them where he got fourth. So Corey Buttrick, very, very consistent day. We had our now points leader, Charlie Mullins, in fourth on the day, and then our used to be points leader, Russell Bobbitt, fifth on the day. And that puts Charlie Mullins in first place overall by 1 point on Russell Bobbitt going into the last round of Enduros.
Interesting stuff.
I know,
Should
so
like to see how it shakes out.
it's going to be whoever wins the next Enduro
Yeah.
wins. So those two KTM two-strokes are going to be just rearing sons of bitches. They're going to be ripped apart. It's going to be awesome, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
I think all of us are. It'll be cool to see how it lays out, and it always fun to have something to roll up to the last minute like that.
And then think about it too. I mean, if things do go south for Bobbitt and for Mullins, and Farringer does extremely well, which he won't now because he's actually going to be having surgery, he could have been in contention for that win now that he's gotten himself that close. But hopefully this momentum carries through for 2012. Husqvarna takes a little bit better care of him, maybe a little bit more support.
Yeah,
He could be up top. You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, some other big time racing up in the east was
Man, my
going on at Southwick.
Oh,
You gonna make it?
no.
All right. Starting out with the 250s, Gareth Swanepoel. I'm sorry.
Swanepoel.
Yeah, grabs the
Swan, not
whole
American.
shot. He led for a good bit of the race. Ended up winning the moto and the most unpronounceable name award. And it was cool to see DNA Shred Sticks Yamaha get a nice blue bike up there for a change,
Yeah.
since it's always
Been a
the
sea
Pro
green.
Circuit Kawasaki class.
Yeah. And this is their first win too, right? For the
Yeah.
DNA Stretch 16?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
And fellow South African Tyler Rattray was chasing him down for second and passed him, but ended up giving the spot back because he had stalled it out.
Oh, that was in that turn where he kind of looked like he was paddle tying it a little bit.
Yeah. So you had Gareth Swanepoel in first, Tyler Rattray in second, and Dean Wilson in third. So you still had the two obligatory green
He
riders
didn't really
there.
see much. I mean, even though he was still in third, it didn't seem like we saw or heard too much about Wilson. I mean, just kind of
Just not really part of the charge.
finished a consistent third and went with it.
Yeah. In Moto 2, Tyler Rattray figured it was South African Day and decided to jump out first and just keep on trucking. Wilson's bike started smoking like Cheech and Chong, but
Dude,
he
that
held
thing
on for
was
second.
straight up smoking like a bong.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Impressive that it held out.
I know.
But
it really did.
Could
seem
you
like it was
imagine
gonna
what
be-
it would have done with those points if that had grenaded?
It would have given
and
Baggett that chance to just rock it. Huh?
Baggett jump up, but then also Rattray
Yep.
really skyrocket. But so
Yeah.
Moto 2 was Rattray in first, Wilson in second, and Alex Martin in third.
Was 11? He's on the 1110s mods, right? So he's kind of a privateer team.
Yeah, the overall for the day was Rattray first, Wilson second, Swanepoel in third, and Baggett ended up not having the best day. Ended up fifth overall. Like fifth overall is horrible. But
horrible.
when you're trying to be in the running for the overall for the year,
Yeah,
it's
you can't
a
be
different
doing
story.
that.
Yeah.
If you ain't first, you're last, right?
Yeah.
Well,
You ever
speaking
sat in a
of
car with a cougar?
yeah, fifth.
Gosh, that could go so many ways. I love
I
it.
actually have.
Yeah, the 450s.
That doesn't just mean a woman older than you, Jordan.
Yeah, it does.
Has she been over 40?
Yes.
Oh, well, we're not talking about your mom.
Oh.
we often are. The 450 class.
Yes. And we love you.
In the 450s, talking about someone having a rough day, Chad Reed would be the definition of that.
God.
Yeah, it just did not work out well for him.
Well, I mean, think about it. His bike and Barsh's bike both were, mechanical DNFs.
Yeah.
Or Reed and Barsha were both mechanical DNFs. So, I mean, American
Mm-hmm.
Honda had to have been shit in the bed about that.
Yeah, not real thrilled. Just like Suzuki, I mean, while they ended up having a good weekend, the footage that was everywhere about them not being able to start Dungey's
Right.
bike, yeah, that's not the greatest selling point. Anyway, speaking of Dungey, Moto 1, he gets the whole shot and just rolls straight to the victory. So, obviously, it worked out okay.
That was a good heat for him.
Yeah, the Ginger Ninja tried to pull him in, but it took him so long to get around Alessi and Metcalf that it really slowed his charge, and he wasn't able to get there to do it.
It seemed that he was getting pretty close at the end, but I think that once Dungey really realized he was there on those last couple laps, it was like, no,
it was
sir.
focus
No,
and
sir.
head down. Yeah, so Dungey first, Villapoto second, and Metcalf in third. In the
Metcalf in third.
the second moto,
Precursor to awesome.
Barsha showed that he isn't a joke at all. Kid tracked down
Holy
Brayton,
crap.
who got the whole shot,
Especially
and steadily
in the
walked away.
hurricane
Yeah.
weather that they were having.
Oh yeah,
Like, that says a lot to be able to not just be able to ride a 450 off a 250, but to do it inside of a hurricane.
yeah. What I'm hoping for is he's been impressive as hell. Hopefully next year he'll have an attitude that's as impressive as his riding.
That's a very good point,
Instead
man.
of
You got to
just being
step
a
it
little-
up. You know, you can't just be a little pissant your whole life, to
Yeah.
be honest. Be
I-
like Jason Lawrence getting out of jail.
Yeah, well, we all know that you can ride a bike. Quit being a cock knocker.
Yeah.
All right, second place went
Unless
to
you're hanging out with
Metcalf.
me.
Yeah, second place went to Metcalf, which gave him his first overall, which
Yeah,
was awesome
in like
to see.
8 years of,
Yeah.
of working for it. So
Yeah.
congratulations, Metcalf.
Brayton, although he had jumped out early and got reeled in, he did salvage third, so that was cool to see. And it was weird to have a moto with none of the big three on the podium.
Hey, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, so the overall for the day, Metcalf in first, as we said, Ginger Ninja in second, and Ryan Dungey in third. It's definitely interesting. Reed is pretty much out of the
Yeah.
running now, unless there's a natural disaster that
Another one?
takes out everyone else. Reed's done for on that scene, which is obviously disappointing for me.
Yeah, no, we wore our red shirts in semblance of the fact that we wished that Chad Reed could have been in contention the whole way through.
I didn't realize that. Are you guys gonna be okay?
I'm the one that's they've taken my shoelaces away from me.
You want me to go buy you a coffin?
I'm on watch.
Yeah, coffin. He's just going to bury in the backyard so we can urinate on him.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we do.
But, okay, so very, very good points. So we've got the two Ryans now, which is where the contention is right now. They are 8 points apart. They were 7 points apart going in, and now they're 8 points apart. With all the crazy stuff that's happened, only 1 point difference. Ryan Dungey has to win both of these races this coming weekend at Steel City in Delmont, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
He needs to make back those 6 points, and to do that so that he's only 2 points down, he has to win both motos and hope that that's as bad as it gets if he wins. It could get better if Villapoto doesn't do second.
Yeah.
But if he rides, though, like he did in that second moto next weekend, can anybody stop that? That was ridiculous.
Well, Dungey lately has been so focused, so fast, and just this second half of the season, he was strong and consistent early on, but he's had a lot more energy, a lot more drive. He's been impressive.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think that it's going to be some great racing going on at Steel City this coming weekend. And we're going to see the Ryans duke it out, but obviously there's going to be 38 other guys on the line, and they're going to try to make it happen just as much as the Ryans are. Hopefully everybody stays kosher to the fact that they know a championship is going on, but that racing is racing. Rubbing can get crazy, so, who's to say what's going to happen? I'm not too sure, so it could get interesting.
Definitely. Closer to home in Denton, Texas, we have round 9.
That's like around the Kona.
Yeah, of TCCRA. It's up on Brian Story's property. Those of y'all that have been watching for a while, he's the owner of SMS Racing, and we actually did a show from their shop and spoke with Brian. So you probably scroll around on our site. You can find some of those videos.
Heck yeah.
We'll be out there Saturday morning shooting some video, and so look out for the Seat Time banner and try to do something awesome.
Yeah.
We're not responsible if you do something awesome and hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Almost lawyer?
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
Okay. See?
It pretty
I
much
totally
says,
just disclaimered your
it
ass.
says do something awesome when you see the banner. Don't sue us if you get hurt. It doesn't say, it's
Yeah.
like, so
Yeah.
you're fine.
Cameron Ishmael and Caleb Ramsey will be battling it out for the overall, so it should be an interesting time.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully there's obviously all kinds of guys that can do really, really well. Unfortunately, there is as well a torn race this coming weekend in what's the city?
Kalispberg.
Excuse me. So I'm
I
not
don't
too sure.
have any idea where that is.
It's up.
I know where
35.
Brian Story's place is.
Yeah, it's up 35. I think it's just just north of Lake Ray Roberts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had no idea, but apparently there's a Toro race there this season, so we'll be able to go check it out. But we are going to be in Denton, not at Kalispberg for Torn. But so I would think that Cameron Ishmael being a TCCRA guy and Caleb Ramsey, they're all going to be at the TCCRA race in Denton, unless the Kalispberg track is supposed to be awesome. Not too sure. So that's what we're going to see. But when it comes down to Torn, what's his name? Shit.
No,
You got
I don't
the
think
notes.
that's his name.
Yep. Austin
Henderson.
Austin Henderson and Cameron Ishmael are actually the ones that are in contention for first right now. So I would imagine that Austin Henderson
they're
is
gonna
going to
be
be
there.
at Torn. So, but Cameron's up for both. So who knows where they're going to be? I'm not too sure. I don't know. But after this weekend, and after I get a little bit of a chance to edit some video footage that we get this weekend, please go check the site, which is seattime.co, and you'll be able to find this episode, all our past episodes, and all the other news that we find throughout the world and the internets, and of course the video footage that we're going to shoot this weekend. So we're hoping that everybody comes out, they see the Seat Time banner, and they want to get wicked with it. What do you think? You going to get wicked with it?
Oh, balls deep.
Balls deep wicked with it. And if you want to follow any of our banter throughout the day on Twitter, what you want to do is you want to go Twitter, and it is seattime_co. You got to cup that.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
cup it at the
CO.
end. Lift and separate.
Lift and separate, absolutely. And of course, if you're one of those Facebook followers who just, it's like, I can't, Facebook for life. It is facebook.com/seattime. Very, very simple. I know that guys like you who watch anything like this can figure it out. So please go find us, like us there. Maybe give us some of your love. Take a picture of yourself. Send it to your mom and tell us about it. That'll be a good time. So if you were to buy a pint glass today, where would you do it?
I'd do it through our site at Big Cartel.
Seattime.bigcartel.com. That's where you would want to do it. You want to buy one of our 20-ounce actual pint glasses. Seat Time. Please support us because we try to be awesome. My nose is itching like a mother. It is freaking me out, man. I'm having a moment.
You almost hit brain. All right.
Probably would have been worth it at this point.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again for watching. We're going to let him take a belt sander to his face, and we will be back here next week. Thanks, y'all.
Hey, enjoy a pint full of awesome.
Best ending ever.
God damn.
What the fuck?
It's like I fucking started doing cocaine and like freaked out, and I was like, oh my God, I'm basing. Should I go with it or should I change?
Just own it. Just own it.
I am a piece of crap.
On the camera.
Don't stop. Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, you are so good. Don't stop. Get it. Can I have another before the show, please, Jordan? Hesse.
Another what?
Have another beer for the show.
Hey, buddy, can I get you to sit down lower?
Stop being tall. You want me to sit on a fucking pillow?
If you could sit on a phone book, that'd be great.